Day 3 started off as any normal day. I didn't exactly have a specific plan for what to do, so I decided to just check out the surrounding area. Soon enough, I found myself in an abandoned apartment complex. This isn't ideal for acquiring loot, but there was definitely going to be something I could use here. I got pretty lucky with one of the kitchens as it had an MRE inside, which is one of the best meals in the entire game. Aside from finding some clothing, maybe a few crowbars and some food, there really wasn't much in here, which is to be expected from a residential building. If you're new to the series, welcome to RAVENCREEK. I'm playing with both Cryogenic Winter and the 10 Years Later mod. I have made a little base in this pizza world as it is one of the best locations I could find, having not only an intact wall around it, but also being relatively large indoors. Right now I don't have a lot of storage space here in the back as I haven't gotten around to making any changes to the pizza world, but soon enough I'll start building up some boxes and deconstructing some things. Since I could tell that my character was nearing the first level of drowsy, I decided to spend the rest of the day pretty much indoors, just organizing some items and putting away some things I had found during the day. For some reason, even though I had blocked the entrance to the pizza world with 2 cars, zombies still managed to squeeze through. I'd get around to fixing this later, but for now it was better to just deal with the 1 or 2 zombies that would wander in every now and then. As you can tell, it's definitely a fixer-upper, but soon enough she'll be clean, I guess. I still need to read some more carpentry books so I can benefit of an extra XP boost on top of the global XP boost I have. If you're wondering why I play with an XP boost, it's because I know this series isn't getting past like 5 episodes and I'd rather see some progress in that time. Soon enough I finished the book and I could finally get started on doing some construction. Thankfully for me I had quite a surplus of high-calorie foods still on me, so I wasn't gonna starve just yet. And that's the last chair. There's a ton of scrap wood and other garbage on the floor now, but I'll clean those up later. After all, for now I really just need a place to store my books and some extra crates back there. That's better. I decided I should also make some extra doors, considering I'm missing a few around here. As I'm currently lacking the resources to build more furniture, I think I'll leave it here for now. Once again, it was getting a bit too late for me to go out. I really didn't feel comfortable going around RAVENCREEK, especially when it was getting late, as I don't know the layout of this city like I do with most others. Additionally, today was the first day where I saw snow. This isn't a great sign, but it's also not bad. It just means the weather's starting to get colder, and that soon enough the streets will be almost entirely white. I then decided to ignore our logic and go immediately up to an industrial building that I saw on my map. The building appeared to be some kind of warehouse. This could mean a lot of crafting loot, which is going to be useful if I wanted to do scrap weapons or scrap armor later. There was also a water dispenser. These are extremely important in 10 years later. And there was a lot of assorted loot in here, even some clothing items. Because of the water dispenser, I really didn't have too much space to put items into, so I just looked for some essential things like maybe some nails, screws, and a shovel so that I could build a basement later on. By the time I had left though, it was already so dark I could barely see anything, so I just had to run home. I started off the next day and was greeted immediately by some snowfall. This is pretty nice, but I didn't have time to spare. I decided to start moving my Jeep up to the warehouse. After all, the loot wasn't gonna bring itself back. Getting inside, I immediately realized I had actually forgotten to unload everything, so I went and put some things back into the car. I couldn't hear any zombies, so I assumed it was going to be relatively clear. There didn't seem to be too many zombies, but it wasn't zero. With the building now pretty much safe, I decided to start looking around for some specific items I needed. I wasn't gonna be able to bring everything back in just one go, but maybe in the future I would come here and get some boxes even. I loaded what I had gotten into the car and made my way back to the base. There wasn't really much more here, so for the time being I wasn't gonna have to return. Back at my base, I started actually unloading everything. I started by placing the water dispenser in the main room, as I feel like that's a good place to put it, at least until I clear out the bathrooms. I spent pretty much the rest of the entire day indoors, simply moving around loot and clearing out some broken things, taking out corpses and organizing even more loot. It wasn't really an eventful day, as I had a lot of hauling to do and not a lot of actual action to do. The darkness was back. I knew it was gonna be a bad idea to sleep in my car, but I figured it would be better than sleeping on a chair. Turns out it was worse than sleeping on a chair. The problem with the darkness is that I had no idea how long it would last. I could be stuck indoors anywhere from 1 day to a week. Depending on how much food I have, this could be devastating. I quickly counted my food stock. Even though I had enough food to survive for a week, it would definitely put a big dent into my food supply, and I would have to spend quite some time foraging for more. The only upside to a darkness event is that it gives me a good excuse to read up on skill books, since I can't exactly go outside. My first glow stick had ran out. Glow sticks aren't obviously the best light source in the game, but they're a light source and I'll take it. For the time being, it's so dark that I can barely see anything inside my own base. Even though I was relatively sure I would be safe indoors during this event, I didn't really know. There was no way of telling how many zombies were outside. Thankfully for me, there was still some water left in sinks, toilets, and my water dispenser, which I could use during the darkness. I moved my quote-unquote bed into the storage room as it's just where I feel the safest. Also, so I don't forget that I can just sleep there instead of going into my car next time. Since I really had nothing better to do during this event, I decided to start cleaning up some of the rooms, primarily by picking up the trash piles on the floor and throwing everything out. Before I knew it, an entire day had gone by. You can barely tell which time it is if you don't have a watch, which I didn't. Considering to me it always looks like it's night, I had no idea how long I had actually been in the darkness in hours. Regardless, I just kept on going. I kept clearing up rooms as I didn't really have anything else to do and just prayed that no zombies found me. Especially considering how often I was speeding up time just so I could get these tasks done faster. All the while, in the back of my mind, there was always this scratching thought of something finding me. Realistically, they couldn't. I mean, I had a large fencing around me, so how would they get here? But you never know with Project Zomboid. That's just the kind of game it is. While organizing some items, I found out that I actually had a flashlight on me. This is much better than a glow stick for obvious reasons, even though it only provides directional lighting as opposed to a light all around me. Since I was pretty much done cleaning up every room and still had time to spare, I decided to start removing vegetation. Before I had realized it, another day had already passed. At this point I was pretty much completely lost. I had no idea that I had been here for 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days. I just kept sleeping whenever I could, hoping that someday I would wake up and it would be light outside. I spent many hours just sitting down, waiting either for the darkness or for my inevitable demise to come. Either way, I had a lot of time to spare during this event. I decided to eat only vegetables, as for the time being I wasn't going to be burning a lot of calories and didn't need a lot of them to survive. Eventually I finally went to bed for the final time. At last I saw the light of day. You really don't appreciate some simple things such as being able to see and not having to deal with sprinters until you're forced to go without them. At last I felt safe, even after being locked inside for a few days. Never before had I appreciated being able to walk outside this much. Not even in the Riverside episodes, as there I knew at least where I was, and I was far away from civilization. Finally in the light I could see how my base looked, and it was a lot nicer. All that was missing now was really a generator. But first I decided to make a celebratory campfire. I wanted to burn some corpses while I was at it. I think for now that's gonna be it.